Did you know that you can take full control of your GoPro settings by just unlocking a feature called Protune? Protune gives us freedom, meaning that with Protune you can take full control of GoPro's custom settings like shutter speed, ISO, white balance, color settings, audio, and so on. But don't worry, soon I'm going to go over each one of them, explaining what they are for and what are my favorite Protune settings for achieving the best quality footage of your activity. Hey, I'm Andy, filmmaker and author of Project GoPro, a GoPro video making school. On the site, link in the description, you can find dozens of free tutorials that will help you get started with your GoPro. I've also left a link to download my free GoPro settings cheat sheet that I've got right here that has already helped thousands of GoPro users learn how to set up their GoPro before every shooting. Go and check it out. Now let's get back to it. So, depending upon the GoPro camera model you own, Protune can be accessed in a couple of different ways. Up to GoPro Hero 7, you can find the Protune feature in the menu, which would be disabled by default. So to unlock Protune settings, you need to switch Protune on like so. While on newer GoPro models like Hero 7 and above, you can access Protune by clicking on the settings section in the home screen, then on the plus button and scroll down until you find the Protune section. So let's now go into more details and see how to tweak each Protune setting to maximize your GoPro video quality. So let's start with bitrate, since it's the first one that we can see in the Protune settings of new GoPros. So generally a higher bitrate will produce a more detailed image because it contains more information in it, resulting in a higher video quality. Starting from the Hero 8, GoPro introduced a different system to handle bitrate. So from Hero 8 to also Hero 9, basically you can choose how much bitrate, you can choose the value of your bitrate, while before on previous models you couldn't really choose the value in the settings, but you just had a higher bitrate as soon as you turn Protune on. If Protune was off, then you'll have the minimum bitrate, which I believe is about 30 to 45 megabits per second, depending on the model of GoPro. So we've got a GoPro Hero 8 in this example, and here there are two options, standard and high bitrate. The reason why you would want to choose one or the other is strictly related to the file size and video quality. The maximum bitrate available on the Hero 8 or Hero 9 is 100 megabits per second, which is quite a lot, to be honest. But that's only available with 4K and 2.7K resolutions. Then, depending on the resolution and frame rate you choose, you would have a different frame rate ranging from as low as 45 megabits per second up to 100. If you own an older GoPro like Hero 5 or 6 for example, then you won't see the bitrate option in the Protune menu. Instead, the bitrate would automatically set to high as you activate Protune. Now let's move on to the color Protune setting. This color setting allows us to set a GoPro style color preset directly in camera or just leave it flat. If you set color to flat, the GoPro will reduce the contrast of your footage, retaining in its details within highlights and shadows. So if you are planning on color grading your video in post-production, or you want to add cinematic color LUT presets like these ones, check them out, by the way, link is in the description. So if you also want to add these presets, make sure to record in flat color mode. It's better, so then when you add any color grading or color presets, you add them on a flat on a flat image and not on already colored image in a way. Now let's move on to white balance. White balance, which is measured in Kelvin, is basically the temperature of your GoPro image, and it's set to auto by default. So unless you are shooting with multiple cameras and need to color match the temperature before filming, I would leave white balance setting on default. Of course, there are some challenging lighting conditions like indoor lights, snowy scenes, and etc. where your GoPro might struggle to correct white balance automatically. So in this case, it's probably better to manually set the right temperature. To do this, use a white surface as a color reference and set a temperature that best matches the white surface. So your white surface should look as white as it is, basically. But now let's move on to the next Protune setting, which is shutter speed, manual exposure. In Protune, shutter speed is manually selected depending on your surrounding ambient lighting. But if that light level changes too drastically during your shot, you risk producing footage that is out of exposure, too bright or too dark. If we leave shutter speed in auto mode, the GoPro would constantly control shutter speed to balance the change of light. In certain situations though, when the light levels constantly change, auto mode can work to your advantage. A general rule of thumb in video says that the shutter speed should be double the frame rate. So by doing so, the frame taken by the camera won't appear as crispy as they should appear on photo, producing that desired motion effect that we often see in movies. So if you want to get this effect, make sure you set shutter speed manually. And bear in mind that you will likely need to use ND filters to control the light coming into the GoPro sensor. Otherwise, it might appear too over or under saturated. Let's move on to the next setting, which is ISO limit. So GoPro ISO limit incorporates a minimum and maximum value. This is the ISO range that GoPro will use depending on the lighting conditions. It's advisable to keep ISO min to 100 and ISO max not more than 400, I would say, to avoid noise in the video. After activating GoPro Protune, you can simply set it in this way. Remember that ISO 100 to 400 works pretty much in most well-lit situations, and even if I don't recommend it because it will produce noise in your videos, you might need to increase ISO max to 800 or more if the scene is too dark. Alright, next one, sharpness. As you can probably guess, this setting controls the sharpness of your image, and by default the sharpness of your GoPro is set to high. That is, in my opinion, too much. This level of digital sharpness might produce artificial looking footage and more noise in low light. So if you are planning to edit your footage and you want a maximum control over sharpness, I suggest switching to medium or low sharpness. In this way you'll have basically a softer image that looks better. Next Protune setting, raw audio. Now, should you enable raw audio track? Let's say that this setting is reserved to audio professionals. In fact, raw audio track is a Protune feature that creates a higher quality standalone audio file in addition to your original audio file, which is incorporated in the video. So if you're serious about audio design in your GoPro footage, then try to enable it. Once enabled, you should select low, medium or high quality audio according to the level of editing you intend to apply. Alright, this is with raw audio deactivated. It's off. 1, 2, 3, I'm trying to talk. Let's see the difference between raw audio off and raw audio low, which will be right now. Okay, this is raw audio on low. Let's have a look at the difference. Let's listen if there is a difference. I'm now talking and we can hear a little bit of difference between raw audio off and raw audio on low. I just switched raw audio to medium, so we can see the difference between raw audio off, raw audio low, and now it's on medium. Okay, cool. Now I just switched raw audio to high, and this is where the GoPro has full processing of the raw audio, and it's now on high. However, despite GoPro's built-in stereo microphone capabilities, it does have limits. I've noticed that it picks up ambient noise and it's more difficult to isolate a single subject. So if you're not so sure what you're doing, just stick to the default setting on this one. Alright, next setting, wind. I believe that this doesn't need much of an explanation as if activated, it will simply filter out wind noise. But I found that works pretty well on light noise or on light wind, while it doesn't work so much with strong wind. In these cases, I'd suggest to use an external microphone with a physical wind filter on it, or a dead cat. Here we come to the last Protune setting, that is mics, and it is not available without a media mode. However, you should be able to select audio mode between stereo and mono once you attach a media mode and a microphone to your GoPro. And that was the last Protune setting tip for today. Let me know in the comments below what Protune settings you like to use and why. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, as it will help YouTube algorithm show it to other GoPro enthusiasts like you. And then remember to download my free GoPro settings cheat sheet before you go. The link is in the description. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!